Welcome back to HL Restorations, impacting Midwest industries. Our guest today is Rodney Whittington with Villa St. Francis. How are you, Rodney?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
You're looking good, man.
Well,
Quarantine's treating you well.
Not too bad, right? Thank you.
Yeah, you've been busy when it's quarantine. You stay working from home, or you still going in every day?
No, I go in every day. I stay kind of isolated to myself, letting the clinical team do their thing with the residents, and just being, trying to isolate and keep the contacts down with everybody.
Yeah.
It's a different way of working right now.
It is, and they say it's going to change big time moving forward with a lot of different companies. I don't know about the senior living side of the world, but I know talking to commercial property managers and things like that, they're looking for some big changes.
Yeah, we battle viruses every year, and this is a new one, and we're waiting on a vaccine. But we're kind of well versed at keeping infections down and under control, and so this definitely is a new wrinkle for us for sure. But we're kind of business as usual, but it looks a little different with visitors and stuff like that.
Sure it does.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Rodney. With this being impacting Midwest industries, can you tell us a little bit of how Villa St. Francis is impacting the Midwest industry when it comes to senior living?
Yeah, so I would say that we've tried to take a real active role in being a leader and being on the cutting edge and doing things first, because we're a larger building and we have resources to do that. A big team that we can have different people researching different things, whether it's the vaccine, the test, the current CDC guidelines. So we're trying to stay studied up and read up and really be on the cutting edge so that we can help educate other communities that are trying to take care of the elderly. We've done webinars, different podcast, blog like this, and so we want to help educate people, have people have confidence in the process that although you see some terrible headlines, there's a lot of really good things happening in nursing facilities all over the United States and here in the Midwest specifically. A lot of work has gone. It continues to happen, but has already happened to keep people safe and make sure we're doing the very best we can to something that is very deadly to our people we take care of.
Yeah, and you saying that, I do want to know, KC metro area has a lot of senior living facilities in the area.
Yeah.
So what separates you from all them other senior cares?
Yeah, so I would brag on Villa in a few ways. We're a 5-star facility rated by CMS, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, which that means we're in the top 10% of communities in the United States. So we're really proud of that. It took a lot of work to get there, and as you know, when you get to the top, it's hard to maintain it. And so we're very active every day to maintain that level of care, the quality measures that go along with that. And I would just say we've taken a stance that we need to be the leader, and we need to make sure that because of our presence in the community that elderly and their loved ones that are purchasing health care for them can have confidence. And you never want to fear going to a nursing home, and we want to make sure that our presence in the community builds confidence and not fear.
Yeah. Now, I got to say, I've met a lot of your staff, and I've encountered a lot of them, and they're so kind, caring, and actually happy and helpful. Yeah. But what is your secret there, Rodney, when it comes to keeping those people motivated, keeping their morale up? You got to share with me what your secret leadership is.
Yeah, so I adopted a principle really, really way back. I've been doing this 22 years now, and I didn't do it great the first time, to be honest with you. I was fresh out of college, thought I knew everything, and I was just going to, rule the world and dictate to everybody how we do things, and it was going to work out marvelously. So I quickly learned that that's not how people respond positively. So we've really, since then, I learned that we have to adopt a employee first mentality, and there's a 1-to-1 correlation between the way you treat an employee and the way they treat your customer. And when I first said that out loud, it felt counterintuitive to people, because they're like, well, it should be residents first and patients first, and that is a notion that feels right in your head. But I realize there's one of me, and we have a small leadership team to take care of 170 people at Villa St. Francis, and we have 250 employees to do that. So we've got to treat them really well. They've got to have confidence in us, what we're asking them to do, and why we're asking them to do it. And it's a leadership, a listening leadership mentality. We got to listen to those 250 people about their work environment, what they need to excel, and and what they need from us, whether it's a financial resource, a piece of equipment, or just sometime, emotional support, somebody to talk to through a struggle they're having, either, in their personal life or at work. And so we've got to really be engaged with our entire team and listening to their feedback and what their needs are. And so we've created this work environment that everybody is excited to come to work. They are happy. And that's one of the things that I'm most proud of, is that we have people constantly that are in and out of other nursing facilities, and they identify the Villa St. Francis difference in that our employees are engaged. They talk to you when you walk past them. They look happy, and they genuinely are. So those are kind of the things we focus on every day, is being that employee first employer.
Well, I always get great feedback. I do a lot of coffee connections and things like that with your groups and people outside, vendors coming in to try to get business with you as well. But they have nothing but good things to say about Villa St. Francis and the staff that works there. So,
Thank you.
I mean, it really shows.
Really
but,
proud.
How long have you been in the senior living world?
Yeah, I've been doing it 22 years, and I've been at Villa St. Francis for 6 years, and a lot of our success is based upon the leadership that has been with me almost that entire 6 years. And so when you get systems set up, they're maintained when the leadership is maintained. And, that's not always perfect. When you start doing a good job and everybody talks about it, then your team gets recruited. But we weather those storms because we have good bench strength, and we're constantly teaching. We're viewed as a teaching nursing home for administrators, RNs, LPNs, CNAs. We're just really active about making sure there's a talent pool coming up all the time.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm going to ask you the next question, which I hate to even ask it because everybody has this subject they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And the only thing I really want to know, Rodney, is this: with COVID-19 that hits in this pandemic, right? I know you're protecting your residents, but what I would like to ask you is what advice would you give an elderly person that's still living in their homes now that has not had to make that move to a senior living care facility?
Sure. So I would just say, first, if they're following the CDC guidelines, that's the number one thing. Know what those are. Basically, it's the keeping your contacts with people down, washing your hands. If you're going to be in public, minimize those times as much as possible right now. At least till a vaccine is available. And, one of the things that isn't being talked about enough, Steve, is that we've got to address the mental side of it and the emotional side of this, because it's one thing to avoid the virus and not get sick, but when you're at home for so long, for weeks, and now we're into months at a time, and you're being told to stay at home, not have visitors, not see your family, there's no weddings, no anything like that. You can't go to a movie. You can't do the things that, fill your spirit, or
you got to keep your mind sharp, right? You got to do things.
And so I would advise them to stay in contact with their friends the best they can, whether it's through FaceTime or the phone. I would urge people's family members to, if you have an elderly person in your family, reach out to them right now. They need it now more than ever, because they've been isolated, and that's one of the biggest struggles of an elderly person in their home or in a facility, is the isolation from people. And just, it seems like as years go on, you lose family, you lose friends, you lose your peers, and then pretty soon you're isolated and not having much contact and visitors. So now more than ever, call your grandma, call your aunts, right. Your great aunts and those kind of things, and let them know you're thinking about them and love them, and that's as much what they need as avoiding the virus, to be honest with you.
That's great advice, Rodney. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, I love the community. I love you guys so much. I mean, I'm always coming by and seeing you guys. But what can we do for your community with Villa St. Francis, with everything that's going on? What can the community do? Is there something they can drop off or get a hold of you and help in any way?
Sure. So we've had a great response from our community friends, and it's been PPE, it's been cards for the residents, it's mask, gowns, hand sanitizer like we got in the center of the desk here. It's those kind of things, but we can always use monetary donations, and if you're able, and a lot of people aren't right now, the economy has been hit and busted, but any small donation, you can go to our website. It's villasf.org, and you can make an online donation. But anything really, just to show support. We've had people come and do the art on the sidewalk and signs out in front to encourage our employees that are coming to work. And we all, anything like that, just to recognize the long-term care industry, because as you go watch the news tonight at 6:00, you'll see something negative about a nursing home going on. And those stories, I could sit here and we could talk all day about those, but behind those stories are a lot of hardworking people that are really doing their best to take good care of people. And there's a lot of good going on too. So just realize that. And if there's any way you can support a nursing home, Villa St. Francis in particular, or wherever you're close to, if there's anything you can do to take care of them, then lift them up and encourage them at least.
Okay. And we'll definitely put out Rodney's website, to Villa St. Francis. So if any of you guys want to connect with him, is it right for you to send an email possibly too with a link, and then you can reach out to him and see how you can help as well. One last question for you, Rodney, is I know you have an awesome event. I was there last year, and it was huge. I mean, a big, huge turnout. I was not expecting that, but it had a real nice place that you had it. It's Faith in Bloom, right?
Yep.
It was scheduled earlier this year, but it had to be rescheduled because of this. But do you have a date that you picked?
Yeah, we do. So our Faith in Bloom was rescheduled from April 29th to August 21st. So it's a Friday evening this year. It's usually been at luncheon, but we moved it to an evening to celebrate our 75th year of our ministry in the Kansas City area. So we're going to do a nighttime dinner. It's going to be big. It's going to be beautiful. We're so excited about it. And people can go to our website again if they want to get tickets or want to support it, make a donation. We are doing a live and a silent auction this year. So if you happen to have some fun item that you'd like to donate, that would be helpful to us. And the goal of the thing is to, first raise awareness about Villa St. Francis. As I said, we've been around 75 years, but a lot of people still don't know who we are or what we are or haven't heard of us. And so we really have taken this event the last several years to tell our story, and secondary to that is to raise funds. We are the largest provider of Medicaid long-term care in the state of Kansas, and for people that doesn't mean anything to it. It means we get reimbursed less than our actual cost to take care of somebody, and that's for 80% of our patients currently. And as you can imagine, that's not a business you'd want to get into.
No.
If 80% of your products were sold for less than what you bought them for. So we rely heavily on our donors to take care of us that way and to take care of our residents that way. And we're really proud of the success the event's had. It's really special to get all of our fans and friends in a room and celebrate what we've done in the last year. And
it was a fantastic event.
Thank you.
I encourage everybody out there to get a hold of them, be a part of this. You will be surprised how well it's put on. I mean, I was blown away.
The only downside is listening to a little bit of my public speaking, but the rest of it goes pretty great.
Yours wasn't bad. It was fun. It was a good time.
Great, thank you.
But we're going to lighten things up. We're going to keep the laughs going, Rodney. You ready?
Yep,
I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to ask them real quick and fast.
Oh,
all right.
Okay, let's give it a shot.
See what you come up with.
All right.
First one. Who is living the dream right now?
Michael Jordan.
That's my boy. Do you believe in aliens?
Maybe.
Do you want to go further than that? Or you just want to say maybe?
You hear these things of the Navy sighted something in the air and all this stuff. So
all right,
it's above my pay grade.
I agree. Who would you put on Mount Rushmore?
Who would I put on Mount Rushmore? Ronald Reagan.
All right, that's a good one. Why do you think manholes are round?
To allow more man to get in.
If you had a choice between two superpowers, being invisible or flying, which would you choose?
Flying. I dream I'm flying all the time. It's a crazy thing, and I wake up trying to land.
You still do? I know I did that when I was a kid.
Still do all the time, yeah. Flying, yeah. I like those guys that jump off mountains in bodysuits.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I am.
Would totally want to do that, but I'm scared as crap as heights. I couldn't do it.
That'd be scary, but that's kind of like my dream is, but I'm not in a suit. I'm just off and going.
Yeah, so. I hear you. Rodney, tell me something.
Okay.
Who's your favorite NFL team?
The Dallas Cowboys.
I thought maybe you'd lie to us. I knew that already. I thought maybe you'd say Chiefs.
It was tempting to lie, but I will say, since the Chiefs hired Andy Reid away from the Eagles, I've been a huge fan because he was kicking our behinds at Philadelphia for a while there.
He's a great coach. I look forward to this year.
Very lucky to have him, and what a team! It's exciting.
Yeah, it is going to be fun. But Rodney, thank you so much for joining us on our vlog and this journey with us at the Impacting Midwest Industries. But truly, people, if you want to get involved, you want to help out, please go to the website. Please contact Rodney at Villa St. Francis or his team and see how you can help. But let us know what you think of the interview. Subscribe, like, comment, and until next time, we'll see you later.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.